Good morning, everybody. May 11th. We got 250 acres planted this weekend. So we had a good weekend planting corn and beans. I'm walking out to the old 8640 now. I'm going to go hit a couple fields that had some wet spots in them last spring. I'm going to hit those spots that there's a lot of tire tracks in, and I want to level them out before I plant them to beans. And then I'm going to head down and hit my Grandpa Jack's garden for him. Get that disc up so he can get a sweet corn planted. And then I'm going to end up down on our new farm that we picked up this year. Going to continue to work that farm, get it back into shape. And then probably come back and get a ride back from my mom. Come back, get my air seeder. I've got some disc opener bearings I want to change. A few adjustments I want to make. And hopefully by then it dried up a little bit because we got some rain over the weekend. Or over the yesterday. Hopefully it'll dry off a little bit. And I'll get back to planting some beans this afternoon, late this afternoon. See if I can't knock a few more acres of beans out. And we'll see what happens. So anyways, I'd like to welcome some new subscribers to the channel I got last night from a shout out from Keith Werner at Werner Farms. Greatly appreciate your support and subscribes. And I look forward to doing my live feeds once I get to my 1,000, which every day we get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. So, okay, I'm going to take the 8640 and I'm going to go do all them jobs that I talked about, and we'll see what happens today. A lot of you may notice that this tractor don't really have any interior right now. That's because I'm kind of in the middle of restoring it. When it's all said and done, it's going to have a brindle brown interior like a 50 series. I'm going to update everything to 50 series and probably repaint the tractor. It's been a good tractor. It's proven itself. So I'm going to fix a few things in the shifting yet. It's got the typical 30-40 series shifting issues where it's a little hard shifting sometimes, but we're going to update that stuff and fix that and make a new tractor out of it. Basically, it's got potential, so it's worth bringing back to life a little farther yet. Dad's got the Kenworth warming up. He's gonna go get some more liquid fertilizer because went through our first tanker full already, and boy is that nice. So much nicer. I don't have to run back and forth to get fertilizer for him, or Dad's strength don't have to run back and forth. We filled it and it kept him busy, so that's a good thing. So anyways, I'm gonna pull up the fuel pump, get some fuel, and then we're gonna get out on the road and get to our first spot and do some disking. We made it to the first farm of the day that we're gonna do some disking on. Got our 496 Case IH disc behind the 8640. This is a finishing disc. It's got 7-inch spacings on the blades, so it's a finishing disc. Does a real nice job. The only thing is I want to find another 30-foot crumbler to put behind this disc. It does have a hitch and it's got the plumbing to the back, so I can pull a crumbler behind it. And the 8640's got 4 remotes, so we got plenty of remotes to run it. But this farm here, I had to leave it lay last year because it was just way too wet. I tried several times to plant it. Finally, I just gave up on it. Last year was such a wet spring that it just didn't happen. I come late. I tried to plant some here in July and couldn't even touch it. So I got what I could. You can see what I did plant. and then I just left the rest. This farm needs a lot of ditch work on it, and the lady that owns it really doesn't want any trees cut, so we can't do any ditch work on it. So that's kind of why it just kind of wet. I mean, if we do have a farm that needs ditch work done on it, we usually work a deal out with the landowner. If they give us a contract on farming the ground, we will actually do the excavating work and do it for free. So, but the only way we do that is if we get a contract, because if we go in, we do $20,000 worth of excavating work and ditch work, and they decide they want a different farmer the next year, we're out our 20 grand. So that's why we do that way. So if you got farm ground, need some excavating work, come do a contract with us, let us farm the ground, we'll do the excavating work on it, and we'll all win. But right now, you know, without a contract and the ROI on the farming, the return on investment, kind of doesn't leave much room for extras. I mean, we'll trim trees and stuff, and clean trees up out of the fields, but we can't get crazy right now and do a lot of ditch work, put a lot of tile in and stuff like that. Just, there's no return on that investment right now. So everything's kind of tight. And we do have landowners that come to us. They're like, can we do some work for a tax write-off? We're like, sure, we'll be more than glad to do it. So they pay us. We do whatever work they want done, and they get a tax write-off. We make a little money off of it. So it's kind of nice owning an excavating business and a farm operation at the same time, because you can do all your own work on your own farms, and everybody ends up happy in the end. So we're going to get this disced, and then we're going to head down to my Grandpa Jack's. I'm going to disc his garden for him, get that taken care of so he can get a sweet corn planted. And we're going to head farther south to our new farm and do some work there. So, oh, I forgot, I got a farm in between I got to stop at. It's got a couple wet spots that I want to touch up. So this is going good. It's not very wet, so should be able to plant this by this afternoon or tomorrow morning. So I'm going to keep at it. We've made it to today's second field, and we just got a little spot up there and then a spot along the sand hill that was wet last year. So we're going to knock these out real quick, and we're going to head down to Grandpa's and do his garden. And then we're going to continue on our road trip today. And then we're going to probably do some planting, I think. It's drying up right now. It's breezy, so we should be able to plant this afternoon. So we'll get these spots knocked out and get on our way. get that done real fast, and then we're going to get out of there and go meet with Dad. And that's how I'm going to get back to my tractor and planter. And then I'm going to go plant some beans. Well, fix the planter first, then go plant some beans. Well, we made it down here to Grandpa's to disc his sweet corn patch, and he left me this nice little bundle of sticks in the corner of the sweet corn patch, so I gotta get this out of the way. So I know if I chop them up, he'll throw a fit. Drag them all over the place, scatter them out. Didn't know this was going to involve physical labor down here. I thought I could just unfold and start discing, but oh, I'll pick up sticks, I guess. Anyways, little history on the family farm here. My great-grandpa bought it back in, I think, the 1930s. I'm fourth generation to farm this farm. Great-grandpa come over on the boat from Ireland, started out in central Illinois. I don't know why he didn't stay there. I could have a grain set the size of a small county elevator right now. But he got involved with a traveling thrashing crew that traveled around with a thrashing machine and a steam engine, and they would travel from farm to farm thrashing grain. Well, he ended up coming here to Pulaski County, met my great-grandma, I guess, and found her more attractive than the old steam tractor and that thrashing machine, and he settled down here. Ended up buying this place. So it's been a Shannon name since, well, the 1930s, and I intend to keep it in the Shannon name come hell or high water. So it's not often that family farms are still left together. A lot of them are sold off and things are dissolved, but hopefully going to keep this one in the name. So kind of the cool thing is Grandpa's original John Deere A that he started farming his farm with is still on the property, so it's in the shed. We'll cover that another day. But Grandpa had a John Deere A and a 400 case, which is also still in the family. My Uncle Doug fully restored it, and we still have it in the family. And I think he had a couple other small tractors, like a Ford 9N or something too. But he farmed all this ground with them tractors, and there used to be a big red barn that stood here. It ended up being a nice fire because it went to waste, like most old barns do. It's a shame, but you only do so much. So we tore it down a couple years ago and cleaned it up. But anyways, that's a little family history. We'll get into that in another episode, but that's a little bit of just kind of a tip of the iceberg. Great-grandpa was, I think, the only other Shannon in the family that ran heavy equipment. He ran a road grader for a lot of years, wore out several road graders working for the county. I know he was the Pulaski County Sheriff for a while, and never carried a gun unless he absolutely had to. He just carried an oak club, and back in those days, you really didn't shoot people, you just beat them. Give them a good beating, and they wouldn't do whatever they did before. They wouldn't do a bad thing again after you give them a good beating. So I guess Grandpa wasn't big on shooting people like happens once in a while nowadays, but I guess he just beat them with a club. But I guess a good beating is a little better than a bullet. So anyways, I'm gonna get this garden disced up, and then we're gonna get on a road trip again. I got it all disced up for him. Looks pretty good. I guess if he wants it any better than that, he's gonna have to get my 4640 out of the shed and hook it to the field cultivator and hit it with a field cultivator. But that looks pretty good. He's got an old style John Deere corn planter with the round metal boxes, so it's got to be pretty fluffy for it to be able to be planted. But I think he'll be okay with this. So if you can only do so much with a 30-foot disc and an articulated tractor in such a small spot in the yard. So it's about as good as I'm going to get it for now. So I thought about just bringing a utility tractor with a rotor tiller, but that might took a while to do all that with a 4-foot rotor tiller. So anyways, we're gonna head down to our new farm and meet Dad. We made it down to our new farm. Got the Kenworth down here already. I don't see Dad yet. He must not have come right away when I talked to him on the phone. So we're gonna go back into the one field, and I'm going to do a little disking back there. We actually pulled off of this farm. I know my first video was down here when we started farming for the season, but we brought all the equipment home and because it got wet, so we went back home where it was a little drier and got a lot of stuff tilled and knocked out. Tractors switched around to different implements so I could have the 4955 back for the air seeder. So now we're back and we're gonna hit this farm hard, concentrate on it, get it worked up, get it planted. We're gonna do a bunch of tillage work down here because we don't really want to no-till this because we need to level it out some. So we're gonna till it all. Dad's strength should be on his way pretty soon with 9300 and the soil finisher and crumbler. So I'm going to head back here in this corner of this field and do a little tillage work back here for a while till Dad gets here, and then after he gets here, I'll probably head back to do some planting. So I'm going to get started. We're getting this worked up real good, and then Dad's strength will hit it with the field cultivator and the crumbler, soil finisher, whatever you want to call it, and should be able to plant this real easy. Should turn out real nice. It's kind of nice keeping these videos because I get to see the before and afters of this farm, getting it straightened out, making a good farm out of it again. Really excited. Get it cleaned up, get these weeds under control. Can't make a few bushels of corn off of it. This is all going to get planted corn this year, or most of it. There's some of it we're going to put to beans, but not a whole lot. So, I'm going to finish getting this corner worked up, and I'm going to go to another one, probably another one after that. I don't know where Dad's at. He's supposed to be picking me up and taking me back from the bean planter. But that's alright. I don't mind doing tillage work. I enjoy it. It's fun. Well, I got done disking. Mom come and got me, took me in my tractor and planter, so I'm going to go plant 10 acres real quick and then head back to the shop, change a few bearings. They're not locked up, but they're pretty loose, so I need to change them. So I'm going to go plant that 10 acres since it's on the way home, and then go to the shop, replace them, fill up with beans, and then spend the rest of the day planting beans. So I got to pin my markers up real quick, and then we'll take off and head back to the shop. Well, I'll go planting and head back to the shop, change some bearings. Well, we made it to the field that we're going to plant, but before I start planting, I have to take my pins out of my markers so that they'll unfold, because if you leave the pins in, they won't unfold, and if you don't put the pins in, they'll flop together in the center when you fold it. Another thing I'm going to do is check to make sure. We had some wind and rain last night. I just want to make sure that there's no swelled up beans in any of my bean cups from if they got a driving rain in here and got them wet, which they all look really good. There's no swelled up beans. I think we're ready to go. These air seeders are very, very simple how they work. They're all they are is a hydraulic blower. It blows air through this air box. Bean drops out of the seed meter, well, like so, falls out, goes down a tube, gets blown through the tube and out to the row units. Very simple setup, accurate depth. It's just a wonderful planter all around. They're real simple to work on. When we get back to shop, we're going to be changing these disc opener bearings right here. I've tried all different brands of disc opener bearings. I've tried Shoup's bearings, John Deere bearings, Napa bearings. It's just something that just goes out. You got to just plan on changing at least half of them a season. I don't know why, they don't last. So I always make sure that I keep enough on hand to replace all of them. So I just replace them as they go bad. So we're gonna get this planted and head back to the shop, and we'll change some bearings. I'm back at the shop now. I got the rest of the planting done that I needed to do before I got back to the shop. And I thought I only had about 5 or 6 disc openers that had bad bearings. Well, the last couple 20-30 acres, it went downhill fast because it's almost all of them that need replaced now. So like I said, this thing eats bearings. It's a good planter, but the bearings are its downfall. So hopefully I have enough bearings to replace all the ones that are bad. So I'm going to get started. It's not a lot of work. It's just one right after another. This whole thing has to come off, and then you take the nut off, the cotter pin out, take the nut off, and then the disc opener slides off. You got to beat the bearings in, beat them out. So it's time consuming. It's not hard work, it's just time consuming, and I really don't have time for it right now. So I'm gonna get started changing these and see how quick I can do it and get back to planting. I got one of these rows apart now, and you can see how this works. This disc cuts a slot, and then this seed boot right here pushes through that slot, and the seed falls out right here. And then this firmer pushes down on the seed and hold it down in the trench and mushes it down in the dirt. And then when this comes along, it throws a little bit of dirt over the trench and covers it up. So now I got to take this in the shop and knock these bearings out and knock some new ones in it and then put it back on. I've got 12 of them to do, and I've only got enough bearings to do 11. So I'm gonna have to pick the best one and leave it on, and hope it makes it through until I get a couple more until I get 24 more bearings ordered. So I'm gonna start knocking these apart and putting new bearings in them. That's how you get her done. Got the old bearings out. Got 2 new ones that I'm going to put in. Now you don't have to have an air hammer, but it definitely helps. It really helps to get these old bearings out. Just clamp it in a vise and knock them out each way with it. And saves a lot of beating with a hammer. So now I'm going to reinstall these bearings, put this disc opener back on, and do that 11 more times. And then I'll be done. I'll be able to go plant again. I think I can make some that are on there that aren't as bad work for today until I can get some more bearings. So going to limp a few along until I get new bearings, so I'll be able to plant the rest of the day. So I'm going to get this back together and head back to the field and get some more beans in the ground today, and order. Mom's in the process of ordering me 24 more bearings now, so by tomorrow afternoon I'll have more bearings in stock. So then I'll be able to change all them. So let me show you something very interesting. You see this? This is a bearing from John Deere. This is a bearing from Shoup's. I don't know if you can see it, but this bearing is from Shoup's, and it's from China. It's a pier bearing. This one says China, and this is a pure bearing too. Same bearing, one from Shoop's, one from John Deere. Or one from John Deere, one from Shoop's. Made by the same manufacturer. Isn't that some shit? Thought John Deere would be better bearings than the Shoop bearings. I guess not. Hub must not be the best. There's one done and ready to go back on the planter. So 10 more to go and we can go back to planting. I kind of second guessed myself, so I ran to the house, to the office, to ask Mom if she ordered me 12 bearings or 24. I couldn't remember if I told her 12 or 24 because I need 24. She says, well, she's like, you needed some spares, so I went ahead and ordered you 26. Good, Mom's on the ball. And I got me an ice cream cone while I was in there. My favorite thing, ice cream cones with no ice cream in them. Okay, I'm going to get back to putting bearings in. So, got the planter ready, tractor's ready, all the bearings are changed. I kind of got sidetracked, had to go help Dad and Dad's strength down on the new farm. Had to take the payloader and clean some trees up and do some odds and ends of stuff, so kind of left the planter project for a little bit, which is okay. So it's only 10 o'clock tonight, so before I go home I'm going to transfer a couple mini bulk bags of beans to Pro boxes. Got the boxes sitting right there. Reason I'm going to transfer them is because the Bobcat doesn't raise high enough to pick a bag up over the hopper or over my seed tender, so I got to put them in a box first, put the box on the forks, then pick the box up and dump it in the seed tender or the hopper of my air seeder. So I'm going to, I think I got like 12 mini bulk bags in here. I'm going to take the Bobcat and lift them up, take the lid off of one of these Pro boxes here, and pick these bags up and dump them inside the Pro box. Yeah, I have 12 mini bulk bags. So I'm going to do a couple of them yet tonight because tomorrow I want to plant these, these 308 2 FPs. I want to plant them on some sandier ground that we got. So that's a good sand bean from Beck's. So I'm going to get those on there and get ready for tomorrow morning. So let's get started. I'm getting tired, but got to keep going. Got to get this stuff done. Got other things to get on too, like got to get Trumbull set back up so we can do some gold mining. So I'm anxious to get this thing set back up and get the sluice boxes built and go mining. So anyways, I'm going to get going. So before I get too tired and pass out. So just like on Farming Simulator, you go into the bag loops, you pick them up, slide them on the forks of the Bobcat, and you've got yourself one big bag of beans. There's 40 units of soybeans in there, so that's 40 paper bags in this one mini bulk bag. So we're just going to pick it up, And we're going to drive over to our mini bulk box. I don't think I actually did that right. But oh well, they're coming out of the bag, that's all I care. Oh, there I got it. Kind of pretty. Uh-oh. Bobcat won't go high enough either. Oh, that'll work. Might have to drive the Bobcat up on some stone or something to get it a little higher. This is why we need a JCB teleskid right here. I'd be able to boom out another 8 foot and give me plenty of height. So that's something to remember when we go to buy a new loader. JCB teleskid, I think, is the way it's gonna have to go. We'll get them in here. Okay, I'm gonna finish messing with this. But anyways, if you like this episode of Dirt Grain Steel, give me a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to finish emptying this bag out, and then that's it for tonight. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.